What if everything around you, every person, every voice, every interaction, isn't real? What if you're the only conscious being in the entire universe? This isn't a horror story. It's a serious scientific and philosophical possibility. And once you open this door, it's nearly impossible to close it again. Let's begin with the most basic question. How do you know anyone else is truly conscious? You can see people act. You can hear them speak. But you can't access their inner experience. You can't feel what they feel. All you know, truly know, is that you are conscious. Everything else might be an incredibly sophisticated simulation, a well-written script running on autopilot, or something even stranger. This concept is known as solipsism, the idea that only your own mind is sure to exist. And while it might sound like a philosophical joke, it raises some disturbing questions. In a universe governed by subjective experience, how can we ever be certain that others experience at all? Science can't answer that. Neuroscience can map a brain, measure neural activity, track behavior, but it can't detect consciousness, not directly. We assume other humans are conscious because they're like us. But when you strip it down, that's just an inference, an educated guess based on outward behavior. Think about artificial intelligence. Modern AIs can write books, hold conversations, paint, and play chess better than most humans. They respond to emotion, mimic empathy, even joke. But are they conscious? Probably not. They simulate understanding, but no one believes there's an internal feeling. So how do you know the people around you aren't just doing the same? And then there's the problem of qualia, the internal subjective experience of things. What does it feel like to see red, to taste cinnamon, to fall in love? These sensations are unique to each person. You can't describe them fully. You can't transfer them. Consciousness is not a thing you can point to. It's an experience. And that experience might be happening in only one mind, yours. Even modern physics can't help you escape this. In quantum mechanics, reality doesn't solidify until it's observed. It's as if the universe is waiting for your consciousness to collapse the wave function and make it real. If that's true, then your awareness might be central to reality itself. This leads us to a terrifying implication. What if the universe exists only because you're here to observe it? What if, the moment you die, everything disappears because you were the only observer? That would mean the stars, the oceans, the people you love, all of it was a construct of your perception, a theater staged for one audience. Now, let's take it one step further. Consider the simulation hypothesis. It suggests that our entire universe could be a computer simulation run by a higher intelligence. If that's the case, are the other people in your life players or NPCs, non-player characters? It's entirely possible that you're the only conscious player in the game, while everyone else is coded to react in a way that seems human. This might sound ridiculous, but Elon Musk, Nick Bostrom, and many others in the scientific community take the simulation hypothesis seriously. And within a simulation, there's no guarantee of shared consciousness. In fact, limiting awareness to a single conscious agent, you, would save computational resources. It's efficient and chilling. You might wonder, why would anyone design a simulation where I'm the only conscious being? But that's assuming design at all. Maybe there's no reason. Maybe it's a side effect. Or maybe this is all a test, a maze built to see how you react, what choices you make, how you handle solitude disguised as society. Here's another twist: dreams. Every night, your brain generates entire realities, filled with people, places, emotions. And while you're dreaming, you believe it's real. The people in your dreams feel conscious, but they're not. They're just constructs, created by you, for you. So how do you know you're not dreaming right now? René Descartes wrestled with this centuries ago. His conclusion? I think, therefore I am. That was all he could be certain of. That he was thinking, existing. Everything else could be false. It still might be. So what would it mean if you really were the only conscious being in the universe? What would that say about meaning, morality, love? If no one else is truly aware, does anything matter? Or does everything matter even more because you're the only one here to witness it? There's a loneliness to this idea, a kind of cosmic isolation, but there's also a strange freedom. If everything is an illusion, then perhaps the limits aren't real either. Maybe you're not a prisoner, you're the creator. Maybe reality bends because you are the center of it. Not out of ego, but out of necessity. Because no one else is watching. And that brings us back to you, sitting here, watching this video, feeling something stir in the back of your mind. A question you can't unask. What if it's true? What if everything really is just you? What if you're the only conscious being in the universe? And now, what will you do with that? Part 2. You are the universe dreaming itself. But maybe you're not alone. Maybe there's something else, something behind the curtain. Let's explore a different possibility. That consciousness isn't isolated. That what you perceive as others are not separate beings, but reflections, echoes of the same awareness that lives inside you. A single consciousness, fragmented into different points of view. Not a multitude of minds, but one mind wearing different masks. This is not just poetic. It's a serious metaphysical idea found in philosophies like Advaita Vedanta and certain schools of Buddhism. They claim the self is an illusion. Not that you don't exist, but that your individuality, your separation, is a misunderstanding. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean, pretending to be a drop. What if everything you encounter is just your own mind looking back at you? Your fears, your hopes, your thoughts, projected outward in the form of other people. Not simulations, not actors, but you in disguise. A cosmic game of hide and seek. Now bring in science. Some modern thinkers propose panpsychism, the idea that consciousness is not something that emerges from matter, but something inherent to it, like gravity or charge. Under this view, everything is conscious to some degree. A rock, a tree, a cell, a star. You are not the exception. You are the latest expression of a universal trait. Still, there's a problem. You can't prove it. You can't access another perspective from within your own. So even if the universe is full of minds, it's indistinguishable from one where you're alone. And that's the trap. Even if you're not the only conscious being, you'll never be certain. So maybe the question isn't, are they real? Maybe it's, what will you do with the only consciousness you can truly know? You've been given a strange gift. A solitary window onto existence, a private theater with no confirmed audience. Whether this world is filled with minds or just one, you are here, and you are awake. So live as if you matter, as if your choices echo in a larger world, because even if the others aren't real, you are. And that might be all the universe needs to come alive. Part 3. The paradox of being. So now you know, or at least you suspect, that the world might not be what it seems, that the people in your life, family, friends, strangers, might not be conscious, or that they might all be you behind different eyes. Or perhaps that everything, even atoms and stars, hums with a kind of awareness you'll never access. But here's the final twist. Even if you are the only conscious being in the universe, that doesn't mean you're insignificant. It means you're essential. If reality only exists through your perception, then your awareness isn't a side effect of the universe. It's the engine, the spark that turns the void into a story. A single mind casting shadows on the walls of a cosmic cave. Maybe, just maybe, that's the point. Because if you're truly alone, if this entire universe was built just for you, then every choice you make carries infinite weight. Every moment becomes sacred. Every breath, a miracle of perception. What if love still matters, even if no one else can feel it? What if kindness is still real, even if no one else is real? What if the purpose of this entire illusion is to see what you will do with it? You can despair, or you can create. You can collapse under the weight of doubt, or you can rise with the clarity of knowing this world is yours to shape. And if one day the lights go out, if this dream ends and everything fades, then at least you were awake for it. At least you felt it. At least you were here, the only conscious being in the universe. And that was enough. Part 4. the question you can't escape. But even after all this, one question remains. If you're the only conscious being, why? Why this world? Why this story? Why you? Maybe there is no answer. Maybe the question itself is the point. A test with no solution. A puzzle designed not to be solved, but to awaken you. Because awareness only grows in tension, in doubt, in paradox, in discomfort. Perhaps the very act of asking is what keeps the simulation running. Or maybe this is not a simulation at all. Maybe it's a dream, or a coma, or the final flickers of dying neurons stretching seconds into eternity. Maybe the world ended long ago, and this is your mind's last grasp at meaning. You'll never know. And that's what makes it real. Reality, it seems, is not made of atoms or equations. It's made of mystery, of questions that cannot be answered, of a presence that watches, feels, and wonders. So stop searching for absolute truth. Stop waiting for someone to confirm what you suspect. You won't find certainty here, but you will find awareness, the spark that turns nothing into something. Right now, there is only this, the sound of this voice, the space around you, the quiet beating of your own mind against the edge of the unknowable, and the simple, terrifying, beautiful truth. You are conscious. And maybe that's all there ever was. Part 5, the edge of the mirror. And now you've reached the end. Or maybe the beginning. You've stared into the void, asked the unaskable, touched the edge of a question that has no answer. Are you alone in this universe? Are the voices around you real? Or are you dreaming, trapped in a simulation, a hallucination, a thought you didn't choose? The truth is, you will never know. But perhaps that's the nature of consciousness. It doesn't require certainty. It thrives on uncertainty. It feeds on mystery, because without mystery, there is no wonder, no awe, no need to explore or feel or love. Maybe you were never meant to solve the puzzle. Maybe you were meant to live it, to walk through this strange world as if it matters, to treat every moment like it was written for you. Because maybe it was. Maybe this universe, this life, this fragile, beautiful story, you is the point. Even if the others are illusions, your reactions are real. Even if the world is a stage, your pain is real. Even if love is unshared, your capacity to feel it gives it weight. And if you're the only one awake, then your thoughts are the universe. Your fear, your joy, your questions, they echo in a space that only you can shape. Maybe you're not a prisoner here. Maybe you're not just an observer. Maybe you're the creator. Not in a grand divine sense, but in a human one. A mind sculpting meaning out of chaos. A single awareness forging purpose out of silence. Because even if the stars are cardboard cutouts, even if the people in your life are masks worn by a dream, even if you are the only conscious being in the universe, then this moment, this one right now, is the rarest thing in existence. And you're the only one who knows it. So breathe, look around, feel everything, because whether this is real or not, you are. And that's enough to make the whole illusion worth it. You are the watcher, the thinker, the dreamer, the spark in the dark, the only conscious being in the universe. And now, what will you do with that? Part 6, the weight of a single mind. If you've made it this far, something inside you is still turning. A quiet tension, a thought you can't quite shake. Because once the question is asked, what if I'm the only conscious being in the universe? There's no going back. You can't unsee the possibility. You can't unfeel the strange weight of your own awareness. And maybe that's a gift, not a curse, not a trap, but a door. You may never know what's behind that door. You may never get proof. Never find the moment when someone turns to you and says, yes, I'm real too. But what you do have, what no one can take from you, is the ability to choose how you move through this mystery. Do you shrink from it, or do you rise to meet it? Every day, you wake up inside a world you didn't build, surrounded by people you didn't choose. And yet here you are, thinking, feeling, wondering. That matters. It has to matter. Because without you, none of this means anything. Without a mind to witness it, reality is empty. silent. Maybe the stars are real. Maybe the faces around you hide minds just like yours. Maybe none of it is real. Maybe all of it is. But there is one truth left standing when all others fall away. You are conscious. You, right now. You're not a theory. You're not a simulation. You're not a philosophical problem. Your experience unfolding. And whether this is a dream, a test, a glitch, or something more divine, your awareness is the center of it. The anchor, the flame in the dark. So carry that awareness carefully. Speak truth, feel deeply, wonder endlessly. Because maybe this world was never meant to be explained. Maybe it was meant to be felt. And maybe, just maybe, it was meant to be felt by you, the only conscious being in the universe. And that is not a burden. It's a beginning.